back out here again today looking for morels. And came back over here to our apple tree where we found our first ones of the year. Reports are starting to come in from all over the state. People are starting to find them. We found, you know, 25 to 30 yesterday ourselves. And hopefully, the time is now. From here on April 3rd until the first week of May. So, to see what we can do, we're here at an old apple tree in here. And we're gonna be looking in sycamores and old apples. And then we may try a couple other spots. So one of the best things you can do is learn to identify your trees and what trees that the mushrooms, morels, associate with. And we're always talking about old apples. This is an old dead apple tree. And they're usually within throwing distance of this apple tree. And as we sit down right here, I'll show you. I may come down below these, but there's a couple right here. Down there and here. So I'm gonna go around and come up the hill at them and see if I see any others. Well, I heard Chrissy owl hoot or maybe duck quacking or something up there, but she must have found one. She's up in the sycamores up in there. But here are these two. And another one's right here. So there's two. Let's keep looking. One of the secrets it took me a long time to learn and couldn't understand because everybody was saying elm and apple and poplar. But in West Virginia, our mushrooms are really associative with big, full mature sycamore trees and young ones. I mean, you'll find them where there's a bunch of young ones, but the big full mature sycamore trees. And then you come down here and you'll find really nice morels like this one. It's almost the size of my knife. So there's a good one. That's the nicest one I found this year so far. Then there's one right over here, peeking through, right there. So we're making our way over here to another large sycamore. And there's an old apple tree laying on the ground there with the moss on it. And I can spot two morels from here where that apple tree stump was. So that's just like this time of year, you know there's going to be some morels at this spot. So I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any as I come in. I actually see a third one here, and we're going to zoom in here in a second on these, but I want to show you. This is an apple tree, and right here's the morels where the stump is at. And there was a third one over here hiding. And a fourth one. Wow, those are some nice morels. Off those go into the basket. So we got a couple right here we're gonna grab. Now one of the tricks to remember is when you go through an area to come back through it. And also, if there's two of you hunting, have your hunting partner go back through where you just come through, because they'll have a different viewpoint and looking in different places. We just came back through the apple trees and the sycamore, and Chrissy picked up another 5 or 6. And I sat down here on the hillside by the, yeah, up here by the the dead apple tree, and I spotted another one. Did you find 2 more?
There's 3 down here.
Oh, she found 3 more down here. So it's always a good idea, because your eyes will get drawn to the ones you're seeing and you'll miss the ones that you're looking over. So always remember that. Go back in and out, crisscross, get different angles on your spot, because if you're finding 2 or 3, there's probably 7 or 8 right in that area. So remember that. I'll just show you some of the take we got going on here now. It's looking pretty good, probably up to about 20. And Chrissy's into a few down there, and there's one right here. Let's pinch him off. Now this is in an area that several people know where this patch is. We've been beat to this patch before, and we've beat people to this patch before. And apparently we've beat them to them this year. So that's why we're picking, even though, you know, if these were behind a lock gate in the middle of nowhere, and I know I had rain coming in a day, I could probably leave them and they're going to get some more size to them. But this is perfect eating size. I mean, there's nothing wrong with a mushroom that size. One of the things we're doing when we're hunting is we're paying attention to our elevation and our aspect. And if you don't know what your aspect is and you carry one of these smartphones, if you click into them, most of all of them have a compass. And we're going to look which way we're facing. This is an east aspect hillside. And this road bank is a north to northeast aspect hillside. It's which way the hill is facing. So you have your smartphone and you have your compass. And it's also telling me I'm at 1,490 feet elevation. That's a good thing to remember. So you start checking in, because you know the elevation about 1,500 feet and below is probably where you're going to find a good belt of mushrooms right now. So use that smartphone for what it was intended for, which is being smart. Now you got to pay close attention around sycamores, as I'm just trying to pound it into your head. And especially sycamores that'll have a little bit of moss around them, because it holds moisture, and it's a good place for morels to pop. And right there's 3, 4. There was one here, but it dried up. So right there's 4. We're gonna get these picked. Watch, this is kind of neat. I think this one's probably bigger than you think it is. Let's just push. Yeah, that's a thick one. Look at that. And get these picked. And that's a cluster. That's a nice little cluster of 4. Sycamores, and we're gonna keep looking. Always thought that sometimes this woodland pond down here helped with the mushroom climate on this north facing slope. And maybe it does, and maybe it adds some moisture through condensation off the pond. I'm not for sure, but I like to think so, because it's kind of neat how there's always several morels in this little sycamore patch with that gas well road, and a couple dead apple trees. And they'll be all over on this mountain here in another couple weeks if we keep moisture. But that's a microclimate, and that's a good place to look early. Well, Chrissy bailed out at the bottom of the mountain and went to a sycamore patch, a new one actually, and she's actually finding a few. I drove probably another mile all the way up here to the top of the mountain. I'm up here in this little apple tree patch, ridge top patch. I do find morels in here. It's a little early for this place, but I do see one down here, and there might be some more, so I'm gonna get up. And I like to sit down. I like to sit down and get on morels level and look. And I do like these fungis. On a day that I'm looking for white or gray morels, they're very effective. They do cut down a lot of glare when I'm looking for black morels, but I'm just an honest person. I think I see the black ones better with my naked eye, but the white ones and the gray ones and sheds, definitely the fungis help. So let's get down here and take a look under this apple tree and see what we can find. Now, apple trees are good places, and here's an old ridgetop, woods grown apple tree. There's a dead one here, a couple over here, a couple back there, and right here is a morel. So I'm going to go ahead and look around up here. If they're much smaller than that, I might leave them up here, because this is way behind a posted line, and honestly, it's a place not many people would look. That's why we find a bunch of morels, because we look places most people don't go. I mean, this is a jungle. It's another day of mushroom hunting, looking for morels, and we're in a top secret spot here. We don't bring many people to this spot at all. This is a old apple orchard with scattered elm trees and some poplar around it and some sycamore on out, and one of our favorite places to look. So we're going to go up here and get to it. This spot here is on a north facing slope. North is that way. That's due north, west, but this is due north facing slope. There's old apple trees, dying elm trees, and there's some dying apple trees over in here. And you know, as you know from a couple of our videos past, these apple orchards, especially woods grown now, dying, are going to produce some huge, pretty morels. Right here, and right here's one. So there's the first three off this hillside. We'll get those cut and see if we can find any more. Pretty nice. Good start. One of the plants that I look for, not where mushrooms grow, but just a plant that when you see it up, you know it's time to look for mushrooms, is Mayapple. Right there's Mayapple plant. There's one, and they're coming in. And when you start seeing the Mayapples out, that's when you better start looking for mushrooms in all your hot spots. Just keep that in mind. The last 2 days haven't been real conducive to growth. We've had some cool weather. We did have some rain finally, but it's been cold. Didn't frost last night, frosted the night before. Supposed to freeze tonight. So hopefully we'll get back into some mushroom growing weather. This is just, now they're just maintaining. So what's up is up, and that's what we're gonna find. So I'm hitting around all the elm trees, the old ash trees, but so far today I'm only having luck around apple trees. And when I find the old woods grown apple trees and I look real close, find some morels. There's some over there. Put my basket down by a couple. It's by another apple tree. So that's where we're finding them. It's not like a huge flush, but it's enough and it's worth the hunt. This one's cool. It shared a stem, two growing out of one stem. That's pretty awesome. Neat morel. And like I've told you before, sometimes you gotta get down on their level to see these. I mean, from above, you can't see these. And then you gotta get down here and look and know what you're looking for to find those two. And then we have another one right here. They're hiding down in this grass around these apple trees. So gonna keep looking. So the theme is continuing. I've been hitting all the good elm trees, ash trees, poplar trees, but the only place I'm finding morels today is around the old apple trees. And this apple tree here, I've seen 3 so far. So let's get those and go to the next one. And here's a double right here. 3 nice ones. Okay, so we were just over in a apple patch, little orchard, old orchard. I mean, trees are falling down and everything, and we come 250, 300 yards around the hill, and we like to look under the sycamores over here for morels. And I've told you over and over about white and gray morels. They love to associate with sycamore trees. So if you see a good association of sycamores, or a little patch of sycamores, you might want to go look. And also on disturbed soil. I'm on a mine bench. This is an old mine bench. And if you start looking around, I got all my fungi, and for these white and yellow morels, this time of year, they really make them glow. Looky here. There's 1, there's 2, 3, a couple back down there by my basket. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to cutting these and head on out to another patch. So the sycamore patch is paying off. It was a good call to come over here. Chrissy's found 5 or 6, and we found a few more. Here's one. Go ahead and get it cut. Has a pretty good sized base on it, so it's in here, hollowed out. And I saw another one down here by my basket. We're gonna go down here and get it. This will just go to show you how well these mushrooms hide them up, and they get a leaf on top of them, and they get to where you can't see them unless you're at one certain angle. And this one's a fine example of that. And then I see another one over here, so let's go get them. Okay, so here we are, sycamore tree, and we are into them. As you can see, there's about 10 of them here, maybe more. And we are gonna start getting after them and get them picked, and see how many we have at that. Another tip I'm gonna give you is when you walk through an area and you're finding morels, come back through that area and look at different angles and stuff, because you will find some. I'm gonna get down here on the ground with these, and I hear Chrissy a-hooting. So we just come through a little different angle, and there's a little swath here where we didn't walk earlier, and we found more morels as we're heading back to the house. And I mean, these are some healthy ones. Hey everyone, I hope you've enjoyed the last 2 days of hunting. You know, just recapping, we went to a sycamore patch on a north facing slope and got into quite a few. There was a little bit of dead apple there, and it was pretty neat. Found some in some moss there. It was just a good early season hunt. We showed you how to use your phone to check the aspect of the mountain that you're on. And then today we came over and hit a old apple orchard, and then one sycamore tree that produced a bunch of morels. Hey, I hope you check back in with us. If you want to watch JC, West Virginia Youth Turkey Bash, and kill a big gobbler, click right here. And if you want to see some more morel hunting from the other day where JC and Chloe found some black morels, click over here. Thank you.